Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
We still don't have this down.
No, because you won't stop talking.
All right, we're good.
Are you done?
Yeah.
That's right, America. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is the lost art of common sense. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about cancel culture, and a topic suggested to us by one of our loyal listeners, Eric. So, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
What do you think cancel culture is, and when did it start?
Well, what I think it is when somebody says something another person does not agree with, so they try to cancel them out, usually by internet, usually Twitter or whatever else. Maybe they said something right-leaning or usually maybe against a certain group. So they get canceled out. I don't know when it started, but I'm pretty sure it's when the internet started. Or basically went towards probably around 2018, 17, somewhere around there. Maybe a little earlier, but basically Twitter is the main culprit for cancel culture.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, as far as like widespread. I mean, I thought, I think it was in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, one of the greatest movies ever made. PCU.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie. Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I think that was kind of about cancel culture. I mean, it's like a ton of protests, like, PC, but I think PC morphed into the cancel culture. So I think it's been around for a while.
Well, I think it was more of natural evolution of of PC, to where instead of just protesting something, they decided just to cancel you out, to abolish your opinion.
Yeah, and it was really disappointing because I thought PCism was on its way out, and then, man, it come back like an angry badger.
Again, thanks Twitter.
Yeah.
So, this
it's like cool, like,
Twitter.
Well, and follow us on Twitter. That's right. Well, and it's funny. I never got into Twitter. The only thing I thought was funny about it is if you wanted to interact with celebrities, whether to be say, "Hey, you did a good job in that movie," or just talk crap because most of their opinions are horrible, you could do that, and then it turned into a total shit show.
Yeah, once people found out that their voices can actually be, I don't know about heard, but if they, as a group collective, their voices can be heard, and that a lot of these companies, movie studios, just general companies are pretty much big wussies, and they realize they can get somebody fired or they can dock somebody by people doing hacking and shit and posting the people's addresses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I never got that.
That's when it started getting really bad.
Well, and I never understood that. Like, okay, so you've heard like these companies change stuff or release statements, and it's about some, I don't know, weird off the wall thing or something that seems pretty, I guess, superficial or trivial. And like they don't even wait to see if it's a impact on their business. It's like there are people on Twitter that I would like to think are mostly bots, but are just people that go around and their entire existence in life is just go around and bitch about stuff on the internet. But it's like, oh, someone's mad, we better release a statement or something like that, and that might have something to do with the ERG scores, but I don't know. It's weird.
I think part of the problem is like the craziest people on each side of the aisle are the loudest people. To where it doesn't take a lot to make something trend on Twitter as like, I don't know, screw Kevin, hashtag screw Kevin, whatever.
Get it going.
Once you get it going, don't hashtag that. I mean, do it.
Well, now they're most definitely going to do it.
Yeah, for sure do it. I don't give a shit.
Kevin's going to get a lot of dates. That's not what I meant. Wait, yeah, it was. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't turn it down.
But yeah, it's just it's a disease. I think once something starts, that people just like to follow and like to act like they're heard, even though I think most of these times when people get like canceled, I don't think they really give a crap about what they're canceling. I think they're just doing it so they can act like they're a big shot or to be heard.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you hear these terms like professional protesters and stuff like that, where they literally just travel the country and like whatever the cause is that day, they champion it and they have their signs, and which is funny because that was in that movie. Like I remember, like people just showed up and they had pop-up protest signs and Sharpies like, oh, what are we protesting right now? And that's kind of the way it is.
Yeah, they showed up on a bus or something.
Yeah, like they would show up in these rider trucks like in real life, and all the protest stuff was like in the back. That's how you know it was all staged, because like, oh, go over to the truck and get your signs. It's not like these people like sat in their house and made their sign, and I'm sure some did, but
George Soros lackeys.
It's just George Soros swag, and it turns out it was just a bunch of signs that said all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
In order to destabilize the civilization of America.
Well, you gotta reset somewhere, I guess.
That is true. Well, what do these people and organizations want to shut down? Why do these people and organizations want to shut down that which they disagree with? Kevin, why?
Because they're weak-minded, and they can't have somebody disagree with them. That is the truth, and that is the answer.
I would agree with that. I think cancel culture is a weapon of the weak-minded. Like, if you don't have a lot of confidence in whatever you're selling, then you have to shut down any opposition to it, because if you don't, it's going to fall apart. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
When most of the people are canceling, they're doing it out of emotion and not out of facts, or it's all opinion based, and they have nothing to back up their opinion. What they have is their feelings. Oh, my feelings. And that's it. They don't have any facts or anything. I mean, so when somebody goes against their grain with facts and logic, a lot of times that's when somebody gets canceled. I mean, there is certain reasons to be canceled. I mean, if you're a sexual predator, or if you're an abuser, or generally a piece of shit human being, but if you're just opposite on what you think politically, I mean, I don't think that's a reason to be canceled. If you can't have an intelligent conversation with somebody, maybe you should be the one should be canceled.
Well, and that's just that's why I don't. I totally lost my train of thought there, Kevin. You shut my brain off. What were you saying?
I was saying that people. God damn it! Now I forgot.
No,
look, everything's off the.
No, okay. Here's what I'm saying. Like, so there already is kind of a mechanism set up for, as far as like, as long as you're not breaking any laws, and there are laws, there are certain things you just can't say in public or publish. And there are laws that gets that. And if you break those laws, then you will be canceled by the police or
that's what I'm saying.
Whoever. But like, and you got to watch that though too, because then that's why I don't like the term hate speech, because that can be, you can make that whatever the hell you want it to be.
You can like widen that circle quite a bit.
Well, they already have. Like, there's people that consider basically dissenting opinion. I think they did it with COVID too.
Oh yeah,
Where if you
like
disagree with something, they consider it hate speech. So once it's labeled hate speech, then you fall under that law thing. It just makes it easier to I can't counter what you're talking about, so we're gonna label it hate speech, and you're canceled. Canceled.
yeah. Funny thing about that is a lot of stuff that was considered hate speech turned out to be true.
Yes. But I mean, yeah, I mean, like when I'm talking about like stuff that you shouldn't say, like if you're threatening someone online or trying to actually incite violence, then yeah, you're gonna automatically get shut down by that. But
Which
it's
is
like,
funny because most of the people that do that are the ones that are trying to cancel people.
oh yeah, a lot of the people that actually do that, it's funny, like you hear about death threats and stuff on Twitter, and you never hear about those people getting shut down for anything. It's like, oh yeah, they threatened my life, but they still have their account. It's like, we've brought it up before, but like Trump got kicked off of Twitter, and like a bunch of terrorist leaders and dictators in countries that hate the United States still have their account.
Yeah, freaking.
That makes a lot of common sense. Oh wait, it doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
I don't even think Putin got kicked off Twitter. I think he shut down Twitter in his country.
Yeah, I think he did. Well, yeah, I think he shut down almost anything, all of that stuff, because I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but during war, every country who's involved in a war is going to do their own propaganda, both for their country to keep them willing to want to fight, which I think most Russians don't, but also like what they put out. So yeah, I don't know for sure, but if he did, I wouldn't be surprised if he shut all that down, because ignorant people are easily controlled people. Remember that, people. Educate yourselves.
Be smart. Be smart.
That's right. Be smart. Don't be dictated.
Yes. Or a dick.
Or a dick.
Yeah, so anything with dick in it, don't have that happen. Well, I don't know.
You're going to have that put on a doily? Have it just hanging over your mantle. Anything with dick in it, don't have anything to do with it. And then a question mark, like ...
I don't
What?
know if that's correct.
Oh, man, you are tired.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, America. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nah.
Well, okay, let me ask you this then. So, there's obviously rampant cancel culture. I mean, like, they tried to get rid... The funny thing is like, so we mentioned Joe Rogan last week. That whole, like, him using the N-word was not why people were trying to get him shut down. Had nothing to do with it. That was just like they went back and that's what they used for ammunition to try to get rid of him. But, like, it had something to do with him having a couple doctors on about COVID that had conflicting opinions. Not like, and I wouldn't say, I mean, the one guy who did the vaccine research, but it's like that's what they were mad about. He had a differing opinion, so then they went back through his past, cut out a bunch of stupid stuff he said, and then used that as ammo against him to cancel him. So, is trying to cancel or shut down the side perpetuating the cancel culture a good idea or a bad idea?
So trying to retaliate.
Basically, cancel the cancelers. Cancel the cancelers.
No.
Is that a good idea?
No, no. It's what you're doing is just like you're perpetuating cancel culture. I mean, then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, but they did it, so we can do it some more." So, I mean,
I think you see that too.
I think cancel culture started taking off once Trump was taken down from Twitter and stuff. They started, people really started getting that in their heads. But then all of a sudden,
well, I think that was a big one. Like,
yeah, that
if
was
you
the
take
one
down
that,
the
like,
sitting president.
Yeah, I think that was the one that really, brought cancel culture to mainstream. And all of a sudden, the right started, trying to cancel people. And all of a sudden, what the left was like, see, you're the ones canceling people, not us. It was just... So, doing this... It's like fighting stupid with stupid. I mean, you can't... There's no winning. I mean, you're just...
Well, yeah, and then before you know it, just nobody's talking. And like we said, once communication stops, that's when violence happens.
Once you give up the higher ground and go to their level, you lost that battle.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree with that. I
Obi-Wan
mean,
Kenobi.
well, then what is the best way of confronting cancel culture?
Not apologizing for one. I would never apologize. If somebody tried to cancel me for something I said, I would not apologize.
Now, I could see, like, say you did something and, like,
If it's something I said on here and it was egregiously, like, bad, and for some reason you didn't cut it out, dick.
I would do that.
Then yes, maybe I would apologize, but if it's just something I believe in and that you don't agree with, you can go fuck yourself. You're not.
Are you talking to me personally?
No, the audience.
Well, you're looking at me, so.
Well, I have to look at you. You're on my computer. But no, seriously, you could. I don't care what you think. I mean, you're not going to change my mind. If you are going to try to change my mind, don't try to cancel me. Come at me with facts. Come at me with your opinion. Come at me with a rational thought.
And emotion.
Don't come at me with emotions.
No, lots of emotion.
All emotions. Just if you encapsulate me, like with a tweet or a.
There's gonna be so many exclamation points.
My eyesight is getting worse, so those caps locks help. So thanks.
Thank you for helping me read your main tweet.
Exactly. I think not apologizing is a good way of doing it. 'Cause it seems like whoever apologizes, they get shut down faster.
Well, I don't. Well, the reason why I think that is because
you're admitting guilt.
Well, it's not even that. They don't give a shit about your apology. But once you've admitted to it, then they just move on to the next thing. That's why you see, like, it doesn't matter. Now, if you legitimately feel bad about it, you can apologize in a way that. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, just apologizing because someone bad. If you don't actually feel bad about it, and you, like, if the only reason you feel bad about it is because somebody went through and, like, pulled a bunch of crap and then released it, and it's all out of context, stuff like that. If that's not what you're sorry for, then you don't apologize for that. Yeah. But I don't know. There's ways of handling it to where, because, like, yeah, like you said, it doesn't matter. They don't want your apology. They're probably not even offended at what you said. It's just
they're doing it because they want to be the big man.
It's like a
big man.
What do you call that? Not like a system, but I mean, kind of like, or a procedure. Like they target you, find something that you said that can be twisted against you, or maybe some people do say stupid shit. That, whatever. Nobody goes through life without making mistakes, but then they find that, they make you apologize, and then you admit guilt, and then they compound that problem. So you apologize, blah blah blah, and then they'll find the next thing, and they just keep going and going. Until if you either wade through it or they cancel it.
And this, I mean, this is the shit that fucking pisses me off. All right, it's when they go back like 5-10 years into your tweets or your social media and find something that maybe somebody tweeted, before they were famous or whatever, 16 years old, or and they go after that because they don't like somebody's views or opinions. So what they do is you can run your life like perfect. I mean, and if you made one bad tweet in 2012, they'll try to ruin your life for that. So I don't know if there's a way to fight that other than get your ass off Twitter and just.
Well, I think that's something that a lot of people need to realize, period, just about life in general, is, granted, we didn't really grow up, I guess we're either Generation X or we're just up in between. I heard we're part of some kind of super special generation.
That's like Millennials?
Well, no. Well, because that's just it. You fall right in between Gen X and Millennials. And I heard that there's like this 5-year generation of where you grew up basically without computers and internet, like for the first half of your childhood, and then the second half you had it. And that's your own little special generation.
And that's why I can't do certain shit on computers.
Well, I mean, but look at nowadays, kids are growing up with the internet, social media, complete access to, post all
And I
kinds of
think
stupid
that
crap that they do, and that never goes away.
No, and I think that's really ruined children in some ways. Because I remember going outside and socializing face to face. Now, I mean, I'm assuming that the computer age has kind of ruined social skills for younger people because they're mostly talking on video games, social media, stuff like that, where there's less consequence than to yell at somebody or to cuss at somebody to their face when you're going to get punched in the face. Like, the internet's not gonna punch you in the face. No, not as much. What are you gonna get banned off Facebook for 3 days or 30 days? Who cares? But that black eye is going to be a pretty good reminder that you should shut the fuck up sometimes.
Are you advocating for violence, Kevin?
I'm just saying, if you say something stupid, you should get punched in the face. Sometimes.
That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes. See,
well, yeah.
You don't cancel somebody out. You punch them in the face, then they learn their lesson. You just go about your day riding bikes.
Have you noticed, talking to younger people, that they have, and I'm so super happy that we've reached that point in our life where we're like, when you're talking to them there youngins.
Them damn kids, get off my lawn.
They walk on your lawn and they don't make eye contact with you. But no, if that's a thing. Like, you'll go up and be talking to, say we get a new younger guy on the crew and you're talking to him and he doesn't really look you in the eye. So then I make it a point to just dead stare without blinking at him to raise the uncomfortable level to
oh yeah, it makes them feel super uncomfortable.
It's like, why are you looking at me? Because I'm judging you.
And I'd like to point out that is a nice banner in the back there.
Yes, it is. One that you don't have yet, because it's on my floor, and I haven't sent it to you yet, along with this hat.
I'm using it as a mat.
I'm wiping my feet on it.
I mean, it's hard for kids to, or younger people, I guess. I would say 30 and younger, maybe 25 younger, to have that social skill to be able to talk to somebody.
I mean, not all of them, but it's a definite thing.
No, it's a lot more predominant than people 25 older, maybe. So it's definitely a thing.
Well, it's kind of weird because it's like the internet's weird because, okay, so we're more social as far as you got to think before the internet, when you graduated, yeah, me and you work for the same company, so we'd still be friends. But everybody else, you're not going to look them up. You might run into them at a 20-year reunion or whatever. So in that aspect, it allows you to stay connected to the people you grew up with, went to school with, whatever, no matter where they are. But then at the same time, because of how we're socializing and gathering information, it just eliminates really natural communication skills. I think that's why, if you ever heard that a lot of wealthy people send their kids to private schools that don't allow any electronics.
Well,
no computers, no phones, nothing. It's all, and that's why, and then they push all this crap hey, give free iPads and laptops and blah, 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 which, great. I mean, it's a tool for learning, but their kids are going to be more socially adjusted to dealing with people.
Yeah, because, I'm guessing they're grooming their kids to be successful. They want them to build their companies or maybe take over the company they have, so they need to have those interpersonal skills and stuff, so.
I ain't having no socially awkward guy running Oscorp.
Exactly. So, I think
I had to get my Spider-Man reference in for the week.
That's right.
I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but,
It is 2 weeks in a row, so. It was Uncle Ben last week, and now it's Norman Oswald.
With the guy with the crazy face.
Yeah. Oh, William Dafoe.
William Dafoe. That's a fancy sounding name.
It is, and he's a very unique looking guy.
He has what would you say? He has a lot of character to his face. Very animated.
I would say, yeah. And I think if somebody was to picture a supervillain type of face, I think it's kind of like his.
That's why his GIF is the best.
Oh, I know.
If you want to send that awkward, creepy gif, you send it. Yeah, but I like him. He makes good movies.
Yes.
So what's the best way of confronting cancel culture then? Like, how do you counter it?
I don't
Or
know.
did I already ask you? I don't think I did.
You already asked me that, but like, I think the best way to counter actually is, if I didn't say this earlier, because I have a 3-second memory.
If I am redoing the last 5 minutes of podcast, I apologize.
Yeah, Oh, no, what the fuck?
Well, no, I remember you saying that, to use facts.
Yeah.
And I agree with you.
Facts,
Like, I guess
take the higher ground. Don't apologize.
Oh, that's what you were saying. You were saying all that stuff, and then I didn't get to put in my 2 cents, so I asked you again. So you can stop talking now. We've all heard what Kevin thinks, and it's kind of good and kind of dumb. What I would
and now you guys can shut the podcast off.
And we're out. No, I agree with you, and I think like the best way to confront it, like as far as like, you just got to keep coming at it with like, you don't confront it by canceling the other side. You just keep doing your research, learning what's going on, and confronting it with, like you said, with facts, and by using words and making them take, like, if they're trying to cancel you because you have a stance on, whatever, then you say, okay, well, I'm going to make you stand by your argument. All right, so this is your argument. Where's your proof? Why do you believe this? And I don't care about how you feel about it. Like, how is this better than this? And then you confront them with that. It's through communication, which you can't have with a lot of people. Like you were saying earlier, how, like, these people on, doesn't matter if it's right or left, or far, whatever, they talk so damn loud that people think, oh, this is the movement. This is a thing. It's like, I got to get behind it. Where's my billboard? I told you not to touch my markers. But it's not like, I think people look around and it's like, so you see all this stuff on the internet and it seems like it's a big deal, but like, I don't give a shit about it. Do you? And I've never ran into anybody who all these like things that are going on that are like, yeah, I talked to someone. Like, not only do I not know anybody, but then they don't know anybody. So it's like definitely a silent minority just screaming their brains out to get attention. And through the internet, it's easier, especially when they get the, get out of jail free card or whatever, because they never go to jail. They might knock off one or two of the far lefties for stuff, but like, if it goes unabated and can just spread like wildfire, and then people start repeating it, and then people are like, oh yeah, this is a thing. It's like, we really do need to like not put a dam on that river to save the freshwater seahorses.
Well, I think another thing about cancel culture is I think the media perpetuates it. They'll find a topic that, that they don't like the media, and they express their views, and people then are like, oh, the media or the View said something about this, so I will, I believe that. And they get that one crazy chick or dude that like listens to them, and all of a sudden he's really loud on the internet. Then his 2 followers are like, that's a good point. Then their 2 followers, it's like a pyramid scheme of trash.
Just a big old pyramid full of bullshit.
So eventually enough people start talking about it because one uninformed idiot in the media said something, and this is on both sides. But I mean, I'm just going to say one side probably more than most, other than the other side. But I won't say which side. I'll let the listener figure that out.
I'll let them figure it out on their own.
Yeah. So I think somebody will say something stupid, then uninformed, like this. What did I just see? Did you today? Ron Perlman. He's the dude
I know
that
the
played
name,
like
but
Hellboy and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I saw something like, "Would you let this guy around your kids?" I didn't hit the video because I hate reels.
No, it was about that "Don't Say Gay" bill, or that's what they call it. It has nothing about that, but he's like, so he is totally misinformed on this. He's like, "Don't say gay."
Like anyone who opens their mouth about any of that shit.
He actually thought it was said, "Don't say gay." Like you can't say the word gay in Florida. Like this moron did not know that that the bill was just about not indoctrinating kids K through 3, and that you can say whatever the fuck you want in Florida, just don't say it in front of children. So he pretty much, he looked like an idiot, and I think celebrities are this way. They'll find their little thing, so they think they have a voice. Just because you can read and act like something, that you are a messiah of culture and of.
Well, they do it to stay relative.
Yeah, but you look like an idiot when you are totally misinformed. I mean,
well, and do they
happen.
ever come out and apologize for when they come out and say something stupid about something they have no idea what the hell they're talking about? No.
Only if it's on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was a real dumbass.
No, they never apologize. Because let's be real, because most of Hollywood is on the left, right?
Yeah, it's a true story.
So most of the big media is left. CNN, NBC, ABC. CBS, all those are pretty much left-leaning.
Telemundo.
Maybe. I don't know what Al Jazeera is. You think Al Jazeera's probably right?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
I don't know. I haven't either.
I didn't even know what it was. Is it TV?
It's TV. It's the Arabic. I think it's Arabic channel or something.
I don't know.
But so the only time a celebrity actually gets in trouble is when they are against the norm, against the left.
Well, yeah, the
like
norm of the left, yeah.
Like that chick. I'm sorry for using derogatory language like chick. That lady that was on the Mandalorian. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Stopped watching it after they kicked her off.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have. It's still
Gina
good.
something.
Yeah, Gina Carano?
Yep, that's it.
But,
she was also in Deadpool.
She was in Deadpool.
She always had a toothpick in her mouth and punched people in the face because she was angry. She's an angry lady in that movie.
So they canceled her, and they say it was because she shared a Holocaust pic, but I mean, basically what the picture was saying, this is how things start by ratting, by people turning in their neighbors, and it's basically a anti-vax thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So
basically, because
she compared people turning in their neighbors for either breaking the lockdowns or not being vaccinated to what the Nazis did.
What the Germans did to the Jews when their German neighbors turned in their Jewish neighbors.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't a bad comparison. It's just, just because you're using a historically, it's historically accurate. I mean, it's accurate.
If somebody went back through the growth of the Nazi Party, like actually from the conception until they went just full nuts and started killing people and starting World War, you can see a lot of side-by-side similarities on what's happening now. And I hate people that I am so over the, Hitler, like, there is nobody on the planet right now that is as bad as Hitler was.
I don't know.
Now,
I'm sure
Xi Jinping could be pretty close because of the act. He's actually committing.
Got
genocide.
people in concentration camps and killing.
Yeah,
them.
but like
Uyghurs,
like that should be a high bar to compare someone to, though. Like, I think people throw that around way too lightly. Like,
oh yeah,
you're
the
actually
word Hitler
taking away from what they did.
Yeah, the name Hitler has been probably thrown around more times in the last 5 years than since he died until that point.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, because I don't know how many times. Oh, it's like Hitler. It's like Hitler. It's like Hitler. Like, you're taking
nothing's
away.
Like Hitler,
Yeah,
I mean,
you're taking away from the bullshit he did by calling this guy that.
And usually the people saying that shit,
are doing
it's their side
things
that are doing it. Yeah, they're the ones trying to control. They're the ones trying to be, fascist or whatever. It's
That's why we started our Freedom Series, to inform the populace of the rights.
Of what your rights are. So, if you haven't heard our Freedom Series yet, go back to the previous 2 episodes, and listen to it. It's
Very
pretty
informing
good.
and enlightening. Very enlightening.
Yeah, so I can't wait to do 2A. That'll be a fun one.
That will be fun.
So I don't know. It's crazy.
It's a thing that needs to stop.
But I think she got canceled more because she didn't conform to Hollywood standards of political views more than anything.
You know, the funny thing is, though, what I've noticed is it seems like there's a pretty large number of, because she was is it MMA? Yeah.
She's MMA.
Mixed martial arts. She was an MMA fighter, but it seems like there's a large number of MMA fighters that are at least lean right. Like they're pro what America's supposed to be.
They're pro, freedom.
Yeah, they're pro what America's supposed to be, not like I'm going to rebuild this country into something else. Whatever you're trying to turn it into based on what you're doing is going to be shit. I'm going to try something that's been tried all over the world and is 100% shit.
Yeah, because here's why. I can understand it because, and if no one has noticed yet, we are probably both pretty right-leaning. I wouldn't say far right, but I think we're still.
I'm not an independent.
Right. No,
I have my convictions. Nothing against independence.
I think I became that way because I found out which side condones American hate speech and which side is pro-America.
Well, yeah, when you have that's the thing, though. When you have to look at, like I said, and we've said it before, our country has its problems. It's over. It started out rough. It started out with a great idea, and like it was an idea, and the fact that we're still here is a real testament to what freedom means and what it can do for a country. But obviously, and here's the thing: if you view the past through the lens of the present, you're a dumbass. Like all these people are like, they're horrible people. They had this, they had that. Like, yeah, back in the day, the founders had slavery, and it was, there were slaves, and that is bad. Everybody agrees that that's bad. But sitting back there and say, we need to get rid of this or destroy the country because back then the ignorant, and it was ignorant. So you actually thought that one set of people is better than the other. I mean, it was ignorant. That's the way it was back then. You being a dumbass about it now and trying to tear down the country because of the way things were back then is stupid. Like, you learn from the past. There's no point in judging the past through the lens of the present because it's like all this stuff, like whether or not it's set out of context or whatever. Like, we evolve from there. We keep improving. There's still stuff we need to do to improve. There's always going to be stuff that needs to be done to be improved. But the core foundation of this country, as far as the way those Bill of Rights were set forth, and how this country is supposed to be focused on the freedom of the citizen, and the citizens rule themselves. Our president, our congressmen, our senators, the judges, all that shit. They are not our rulers. They are representatives of us because we govern ourselves. And maybe maybe that freaks people out. I don't know, but that's my little soapbox. As I get tired of hearing that shit.
So I was doing my usual internet.
Current events, Kevin. Let's get into current events.
Talking about the internet today. So I was on the internet today, and I was on a thing about the budget. Or no, I'm not about the budget. What the hell is it about? I think it's inflation. So I try to get in this debate, and I'm like, really, it's the government's fault because we keep spending trillions of dollars. It's not on the billionaires. It's not on greedy corporations. It's the government that's doing this shit. And, I think the best way because the government is greedy. They're the one, like I said last time, they gave themselves a 26% raise for Congress. Then they, and they can still, buy stocks and influence the stock market, which is also BS. So I think the only way this country can repair itself and get itself out of this quagmire that we're in is for congressional term limits.
Yeah, I think that definitely needs to be a. And I don't know how. I guess we might have to.
I don't know how you do that because Congress are the ones that have to write that in. So are they really going to limit
Well, and
themselves from making money?
that's where you hear that term convention of states. I'm not exactly sure. You hear people talk about convention of states, and then they're like, "Well, that's not really going to solve the problem," or but the states can form a convention and change stuff and force stuff because yeah, unless you get a bunch of people in or you get enough people in that are willing to give themselves term limits, it's not going to happen. But it does need to happen. And yeah, like don't don't get it twisted. All the inflation and then or the inflation that's going on and everything that's costing you more money is because of all the bullshit money that's been pumped into the economy, and it started with Trump.
It did.
Like, yeah, he
That
was.
stimulus,
That's the one thing.
that first stimulus
Like,
was bullshit, and I understand people probably spent the money on a new flat screen, so good for you. You can watch us in 4K if you really want. It's only going to be 1080p though, but if you want to watch us on your TV, but it was a bullshit. He shouldn't have spent that money.
no, I think Trump did a good job.
I think it was I think it was a way for him to, because it was right around election time. It was, I think it was, I think he was trying to buy votes personally, and be mad at me if you want, but that's what I think, because I don't think that money should have been spent. The business part, I didn't mind helping businesses out that were unfairly forced to shut down.
Well, I don't
think
think
that part was good,
business
but
should have been
but then
forced down. Period.
what happened was, people rigged the system and they stole a bunch of money. So there's billions and billions of dollars that has been stolen because of that. So weak oversight and shitty policy has pretty much put us in and overspending has put us in this deal we're in.
Yeah, well, and that's what I think Trump. You can like him or hate him, or he said mean things, and he did not have the best bedside manner. But like, I agreed with like the way the country's going. Like I said a long time ago, I don't pick the people I vote for based on whether or not I like them. Like, oh, that's a nice person. I'd like to have a beer with him. I don't give a shit about any of that. Um, I listen to what they say, and then especially like that's why you generally like the good thing about the two term is if they run on something and you voted for them because they said this and then they don't do it. But I care about the job they're doing. I don't really care about their personality. But at the same token, him like everybody else like gets in there and they don't do anything to address the budget. Like you're not going to spend your way out of anything. And yeah, like he added a shit ton of money to the deficit too. So it's like, and you can say, well, people needed it because of the shutdowns or the lockdowns and all this. I'm like, well, that never should have happened. Period. Shouldn't have happened.
I can tell you what, if $1,400 is going to make or break you, you're probably, it's going to break you in a month anyway. So,
well, and then the whole paying people not to go back to work thing, and
yeah, that was.
I'm not gonna lie. If I can make the same amount of money sitting at home doing nothing versus working, yeah, why wouldn't you do that? I thought that whole thing about I think you get like $8,000 if you bought a house. I thought that was stupid, but I bought a house during that, and I took the $8,000 because
same.
It'd be stupid not to take it.
Same, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. Inflation is a whole can of worms that I think we might get into next episode.
Yeah, that might be a thing. I think that'd be a good topic. So have you heard much about the Supreme Court nominee other than
she's
it's starting to seem like she is not qualified to be?
She's going to get in.
That'll be.
It's got to go through Senate now, and Senate's. I think the.
House unless you get a Democrat that says no.
Yeah, so the House passed it, and I think it's going to move over to the Senate, and they're going to confirm her, and she is something. If you don't know what a woman is and you have to kind of do policy on men's rights and women's rights and people's rights, you should know the biology of a person. Don't what they feel they are or what they think they are, but what their biology says they are. I mean, you should know that. I mean, I don't know you're not a biologist, but like somebody said, I can look at a dog, even though I'm not, and know it's a dog without being a vet.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. I just if out the gate, two prerequisites for her being picked is her race and her gender. I'm surprised anybody, like, I would just turn it down until they, it's like, pick the best person for the job. Race. See, like, the left goes on and on about race. You're racist, you're white supremacist, the only people that are always talking about race and taking race into consideration for everything is the people that are calling everybody racist, which I hate to break it to you. That would be racism. Like, if you feel guilty, if you have white guilt, you're a racist. Because in order to have white guilt, you have to believe in your core, whether you're okay with it or not, you have to believe that you're better than somebody else because of the color of your skin. And if you actually think that and you have guilt because of that, you're a racist. I hate to break it to you. Truth hurts.
Yeah. If you're guilty because of the color of your skin, you're probably racist because at some point you felt that you were better than, like you said, better than somebody else.
Yeah, you might have been manipulated into it. Like I said, you might not like it, but I mean, you have guilt because, oh, I'm better than this person because I'm white. Well, that's racism.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
But
that's why, I mean, but like if you just go, like, take I don't care if you put a filter on it to where you can't see her, you can't hear her voice, like can't tell what gender she is, and just listen to the answers of the questions she gave. There is no way anybody would think that she's qualified to be a Supreme Court justice. No.
Agreed.
I think she was told to give fluff answers because, like, oh, don't worry, no matter what, you're getting elected, so just don't answer anything. Don't make anything controversial. But I think her lack of answers to most of the questions was controversial.
I think she just asked them questions about the amendment or about the Constitution. I mean, that's what they're there for, is uphold constitutional law.
Yeah, but then you can ask some questions like that. But like when that one guy who Biden nominated to be the director of the ATF, like when I was like, oh no, I own a gun. I believe in, the Second Amendment. Then they started pressuring him. It's like, well, it's like, I believe you should be able to have a 22 Derringer. I mean, he didn't say that, but
yeah, no,
these people, they're like, I got it.
But you can't have an AR-15.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does somebody need that for? When did deer start wearing Kevlar? The old Biden dumbass.
That's another thing that we need to have a show on, and I think we will, is just agencies in general, because
deer wearing,
or deer wearing, body armor, totally kitted out.
If they're getting body armor, that's pretty awesome.
The day Bambi.
I don't even have body armor, so where are they getting this money from? Or are they making it out of twigs and berries?
Well, you never know.
The forest is a mystery.
Technically, even synthetic things are still made from natural stuff because everything came from the earth. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, this is all natural. I'm like, well, technically,
some stuff came
everything
from space.
On the planet came from the planet.
Well,
so isn't everything natural? Or are you talking about natural state?
Well, I mean, some things might have came from space, asteroids and shit.
I'm going to make a movement.
Asteroids and shit, aliens.
You cannot.
What about aliens?
Call
what
it all
if
natural.
aliens brought shit here? You don't know if they did or not. That's why they have a whole show about ancient aliens. Maybe they brought. Maybe
that is true.
Maybe some of the shit we're making is actually alien waste.
You want proof
alien
of
waste
intelligent
is a
life
bunch
in
of
aliens?
stuff. Like maybe that's what oil is. Maybe it's the
Could
septic
be.
tank of an alien race.
Well, then they need to bring more ships and dump their
Yeah,
sewage.
isn't it time to?
Is there any way you can dump your tank? We need more. We need gas prices to go down.
Yeah, to see it. That's my conspiracy theory. It's oil is nothing but alien shit.
Based completely on nothing.
Nothing, just because I just thought of it right now. It's because
Well,
it's black.
I mean, considering that like almost everything has something to do with petroleum, it could be alien tech.
Yeah. And they're just
Yeah,
they're
like
just
Teflon.
maybe they're a very efficient race that uses their shit to power stuff, and they gave us their shit to power stuff too.
Aliens come to the planet for gold, Kevin. God, they dump their tanks and take the gold.
Gold? Wouldn't they get more gold off like
Yep.
some of these asteroids have trillions of pounds of gold?
No, they pull in, they're getting the gold. Like, hey, what are you doing? Shitter's full, and then they grab the gold.
So we're like their
You're
bank.
welcome.
We're their bank and their fucking restroom.
Yes,
Oh well,
I've seen Aliens versus Cowboys. I know why the aliens came here.
I think I started watching that movie, but it was pretty bad, and I just couldn't. I don't think I finished
No,
it.
you should have finished it.
Is
It
that
is
what-
just a
Was it about alien shit and gold? It was just about gold,
look?
wasn't
It's
it?
got
probably not about
it's
shit.
got Han Solo and James Bond in it. How bad can it be?
I couldn't finish it. That's how bad it was.
Oh, I don't think it was bad at all. It was
maybe-
awesomely mediocre.
I think
Awesomely mediocre, Kevin.
it's on some streaming. I might try to give it another shot.
I feel like you should watch it. I liked it.
All right, maybe I'll give it another
But-
shot. Maybe it's something.
Of course, I also like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, so
That's actually, yeah. I mean, that movie was.
that's a good movie.
It was
I'll tell
something.
you what, America, people can talk shit about that movie all they want, but when the Killer Clowns from Outer Space come, I know where to shoot them. I'm not going to turn into a giant ball of human cotton candy and be liquefied and drank through a ridiculously long, abstract, and you know it's going to be super hard to suck through silly straw. That's not happening to me. You just remember, watch the movie, you got to learn where to shoot them, and then they blow up into confetti. Just proof that I've actually watched that movie more than once.
Yeah, I think I've seen it twice. I don't think I've seen it in the last
It's just-
15 years.
Well, I just like that like genre of movies, like because like
Just the
Like
really
that.
B horror movies.
oh yeah, that's why I'm a huge fan of Evil Dead.
Evil Dead's great,
Evil
though.
Dead, the old one.
Yeah, Evil Dead. Evil Dead was like actually like a kind of a scary movie. Evil Dead 2 got more into the comedy than Army of Darkness is just insanity.
Well, did you notice that like Evil Dead 2 seemed like a start over because it doesn't really follow the plot of the first one. It's like,
Yeah.
so you went there and all your friends died. So then what do? You take your girlfriend back there.
You know what?
How else was I going to go through a time portal and go back to the medieval times?
That was Army of Darkness.
With my Buick.
That was Army of Darkness. That was the third one.
I know, but Army in Darkness is the sequel to Evil Dead 2.
Yes. But yes, I don't understand why would you ever go back there. Like all your friends were murdered. Maybe it was a nice sunset and you're like, it really looked
Well,
good.
that's what I'm saying. If you watch
Like, it was too beautiful
it's like
to
there's
pass up.
I just love that creepy forest
Yeah.
in the book that's angry looking.
I don't know if I watched the new one. I know there's a new one that came out at some point, but I don't think I watched it.
Nah, I watch it. It's not as good. It's too realistic.
I'm
not enough
yeah.
cornstarch blood.
Yeah. Not enough blood.
No, I just like that kind of stuff. Like, that old, like, it's not scary at all. It's over the top. Like, Army of Darkness was great. And then Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah. Well, that's a great show.
Oh, it's
It just keeps
fantastic.
kicking up the insanity.
I
Before
think we can both agree that Bruce Campbell is the greatest B-roll actor. Of all
Oh
time.
yeah, and I he's a national treasure.
Yeah, that dude is great.
Before we go, one thing I want to touch on. What do you think about Biden and his remarks and walking it back and stuff like that?
Well, see, it was funny. I think it was Josh Hawley. I think he might have said, like what he said, and I agree with. Biden seriously needs to stop doing public appearances and shooting off the cuff and should only read from the teleprompter. And I don't care if you're on the right, left, conservative media, just leave him alone about it. Because we're getting to the point now where his gaffes and the shit he says is seriously putting us in an awkward position to where like we could end up going to war because the dude just doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
That's the problem. I don't think he's all there, and I'm not saying that to be mean. I seriously don't think he's all there anymore. He had a cue card, and he still answered something wrong. Like it's ridiculous. I mean, he had a question and answer sheet, and he still screwed it up. So I don't think like sometimes
That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't know he's there, or he doesn't know what's actually going on, so he's just making shit up in his mind. Like I don't know. It's
well, and okay, so we're stuck with him for
3 more years,
2.5 more years, 3 years,
or 2. Yeah,
so we're stuck with him for 3 years, at least. Whatever. We're stuck with him until 2024. I am totally fine, and I will make a pledge that I will not talk crap about him not going out in public. I don't actually believe that he's running shit. Somebody else is. I don't know who it is, but he's just not mentally competent enough to be the president. So somebody's telling him what to say. Whether you agree with it or not, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's where I know we are. That's where I feel we are, and I'm gonna be totally fine with that dude not coming out and saying anything to anybody and just reading a script from now on, because we're going to end up in some serious shit if he just keeps talking.
Here's the problem: is I think we can't get rid of him because Kamala Harris is just as bad of a train wreck as he is.
Oh, she is. She is horrible.
So she's horrible at public speaking. She does the same things he does, only she's like, 40 years younger?
She doesn't have an excuse.
No, she just...
Other than just not being qualified
she just
for a
does.
job
It's like all. It almost seems like she doesn't prepare sometimes what she's talking about. Like, she doesn't even like she's less prepared for conversation than we are. And we just shoot shit off the cuff half time.
Yeah, we have very limited show notes, and then we just pretty well, I think it's obvious, just ad lib our way through.
Yeah, that she does the same thing, only she does it in a very bad way. So.
Well, and one of the things is people can say oh, you're just saying this because whatever. It's not. If you actually think that Kamala Harris is doing a good job as a vice president, you're either not paying attention on purpose, you're listening to the wrong stuff, or you're an idiot. I mean, that's just fact. That's one of those things where it's oh, those facts hurt my feelings. Well, sometimes the truth hurts, and she is horrible. Horrible.
All right, we're coming up on an hour.
Is just the worst. Yeah.
Coming up on an hour. Let's get out of here.
All right, America. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, I'm Josh.
I'm Kevin.
And this was the Lost Art of Common Sense.